I'm 1x4x9. Today I wanted to make a short video regarding my sour gas boiler design, namely the 10 kilo, not the 4. Basically, don't build my design. It is too materials intensive, and it is much larger than this one here. Now, if you followed on a channel called Tartarus Plays Games, he's currently on hiatus, but a long time ago I sent him a message saying, hey, I've been looking all over the internet and I just haven't been able to find a compact, reliable 10 kilogram a second design that I'm happy with. It's like, what can you come up with? And, he came up with more or less this. This is slightly modified from his design to correct a couple issues that I had with it. But for the most part, this is his design, more or less unchanged. There was no need to reinvent the wheel whatsoever. This design is reliable, it's compact, and it takes far less metal and ceramic. Unless you want a stash project and have the room and want a boiler that has a novel way to dump its excess heat, by all means, I would love to see it on a map. Someone else's map. I would. But, I can't recommend it anymore. As a matter of practicality, this is much better for people to build. It doesn't use vent or bridge spam. It doesn't use any exploits. Aside from, I don't know if you consider a bead pump to be an exploit. But, and it's very much no fuss, no muss. The only modifications I've done, as you'll notice, this has been pushed over one tile to the left. So is this. So before, he would have insulated tiles here, and it would wrap around and up one tile, and you'd have 4 metal tiles here, with, a small couple temp shift plates here. Whereas if I pushing this over one tile to the left, gives me 5 tiles of space here, and so I can do a 3x3 array of temp shift plates. Basically, the bottom 2 are thermium, and the rest are surrounded by aluminum. This is all aluminum. Aluminum's much cheaper to use, and the benefit of it is, as I pointed out in previous videos, it has the thermal conductivity only second to thermium, and basically it's not far off from a rounding error. Thermium is 220, aluminum is 205. Now, the specific heat capacity, it has almost 50% more than thermium. As you see, aluminum is 0.910, thermium is 0.622. That's almost a full 50% more temperature that this can hold. And, that just further adds to the stability of the entire system. Real quick, in logic, these 2 Atmos sensors are connected to an AND gate, which are connected to these gas pumps and saying, hey, if I'm below 250 grams of tile, don't turn on. There isn't enough gas worth pumping. It's just, it helps the gas tanks over here fill up initially. I don't know if you're going to use gas tanks. I always use gas tanks in my generator arrays. It just gives you a little buffer in case, a couple minutes to figure out, hey, what's wrong here. This Atmos sensor is green above 20 kilos of tile, which is connected to a 10-second buffer. It says, hey, if there's too much natural gas in here, turn all the generators on. This Atmos sensor is saying, if I'm below 20 kilos, keep on the oil. But it's also connected to 200-second buffer gates, which basically say, give it a bit extra time, before shutting off the oil. So that way, the way I have it set up, your generators will run on average of about 95-97% uptime. And the reason why I'm doing this is for the polluted water. You can also do it for the CO2. It gives you a generous, like 1.7 kilos a second, roughly, of CO2. But yeah, I do it for the polluted water. You can also have these turn on just as necessary, but you run the risk of this overpressurizing. You know, that's what all this logic is for. You know, basically it keeps the set port green, you know, and when these timers run out, you know, this will, this NOT gate will send out a green signal, tripping the system, resetting it, and then when pressure falls back down, this will this will turn green, kicking the system back on. So it's just a method to prevent overpressurization or any, you know, in case you have any generator issues and they get backed up, you know, it prevents the system from grinding to a halt. This is set to below 5 kilos. This is set to about 550. These are both set to below 725. These pop the doors closed when it gets too hot. I've found in practice only this door pops open and closed. So, this basically says, you know, if I am above 580 degrees, turn on the oil. This sensor says turn green if below 575, and this connect to an AND gate, which if this is, you know, to temperature and this isn't, it will allow the temporizer to kick on to allow this to generate more heat and get up to temperature to turn on. These are set to negative 179. These are set to negative 193. I have found that initially upon startup you will get a little methane freezing, but once the system gets up and running and you get a good flow of sour gas, it'll thaw out the frozen methane and you'll just get liquefied methane and sulfur out of the system. I've also added sulfur recovery. This schedule sensor basically gives it a 15 second activation time throughout the day to pick up whatever sulfur is for recovery. And after about 160 cycles of operation, I got a lot of fucking sulfur. Like, a lot of sulfur. So, your needs will be met by this big boy. I keep a 200 kilo pool of liquid methane, just like Tartarus. Again, thermal stability. These I filled up a little bit more than Tartarus. You know, he does about 350. I do about 100. This, upon startup, you want to set to 5 kilos a second. You're going to need to leave this open or put in a door so a dupe can get in and out here to set it. This is a sandbox space. You know, I have been working the last year and a half on and off trying to come up with a spaced out base I am happy with. And I want to say I'm getting there, but that's a video for another time. But aside from that, that goes over the logic. This can also manually turn on and off the oil. This is set to filter natural gas. Of course, I would have a save right now when I want to do something. The framework for that is just regular obsidian pipe. It'll pick up some temperature and gets dumped out into here to be liquefied, whereas natural gas will come out of this flooded vent here to be burned off. Plumbing overlay. It's a little bit of a rat's nest, but incoming crude cools the steam turbines to keep the steam chamber in check. Plumbing, I use obsidian pipes here because it is very chilly. Don't need them. And all the rest is aluminum pipes, aluminum tile. And contrast to what Tartarus said, I'm going to make a small correction on his behalf. Super coolant, one tile deep will go up to about 930 kilos, rather than 800 per tile. 800 per tile is what spawns in a debug when you don't put in a value. but what it'll actually compress to is about 930 kilos per tile when tile deep. These control battery level, I have them set from 9590 to 6560. This is just a simple polluted water loop, keeping the batteries cool, and the generator transformer. Again, a 400 kilo buffer. This is a 5-second filter gate to make sure, hey, this is actually too warm. Turn on the aqua tuner. I do that a lot to my aqua tuners. I put on small filter. But yeah, aside from that, that's pretty much it. Don't build my boiler. Build Tartarus's. Or build mine with my slight modifications. It's up to you. Just, don't build mine unless you have a lot of refined metal and ceramic to burn and you want a stash project and you have the room. Then please, by all means, I would love to see it in a map someday. Or this one, or Tartarus's original. He's got plenty of content up. You could easily spend a couple months going through what he has. And he is an amazing player. You can learn a lot from him. But anyways, that does it for my video today. I hope this video finds you well. And have a good rest of your day. Take care.